I was in my third year of med school on the urology surgery rotation, and we got a call from the emergency room that there was a young kid with a testicular mass that they wanted us to check out. So I got down there and I started talking to him, and he told me that about a year ago he had noticed a mass on his left testicle, but he didn't want to come to the hospital at that point. And then about 3 months ago he started having difficulty walking and started having blurry vision. The thing is, he works as a short order cook in a restaurant, and this morning he was just dropping things left and right, and his boss became really nervous and told him to come to the hospital. When I checked him out, I found that he didn't just have a mass, he had a size of an eggplant on his left testicle, which is just crazy because we just never see them get that big. And so I got permission to take him to the OR. And as we're getting ready for the operating room to get set up, we took him to the CAT scan, and I already knew what we were going to see before the results came back. We call it lighting up, where you start to see masses everywhere. And sure enough, in him, he had masses on his lungs, he had masses on his spine. That's why he couldn't walk right or see properly. And when we took him to the operating room, we got confirmation that this big thing was in fact cancer. And it fell on me to tell this poor kid in the recovery suite what we had seen. And he was so scared. And he asked me what was going to happen. And I'm a third year med student at that point. What am I supposed to say? And I told him, we would take as good care of him as possible. And he was admitted to the cancer service and started on chemotherapy. About a year later, I was at a restaurant with a couple of my friends. It just happened to be the one that he had worked at. And we asked about him, and the people told me that he had died about 6 months before, which made me really sad. You see, the hidden story about him is that while he was an American citizen, both of his parents were undocumented Mexican immigrants. And so he had grown up with this perpetual fear that anything could happen and they could always be deported. And so he feared that if he came to the hospital, somebody would find out his parents were undocumented. And as a result, he didn't come in until it was too late. What makes it even worse is that testicular cancer, if found early enough, has very high cure rates. And unfortunately, because this kid grew up with this fear, we now have a 19-year-old kid that's no longer alive, and that just makes me profoundly sad.